y'all? Welcome to another edition of Vegas Recommends. This week I have 4 albums to review, so we're going to get right into it. The first album I chose to review is the return of a rap duo who I slept on when they first came out and, eventually got into their music. It's none other than Capone and Norega, CNN, and they have a brand new album, their third album, entitled Channel 10. And I just had to say off the top, you know what I'm saying, nothing has really changed, which is a good thing for them, you know what I'm saying. It's about 17 songs deep, you know what I'm saying. It features guest appearances by Busta Rhymes, Mobb Deep, you know what I'm saying, the Dog Pound, the Clips, Mano, and also Ron Browns. And I have to just say that, you know, the album, like I said before, is what you expect from Capone and Norega. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of what they do, but what's hot about this album is the fact that, you know, some people may feel that the skill, especially like Norega, isn't really top notch, but somehow him and Capone tend to balance each other, and that's completely evident on this album. They have songs on here like Follow the Dollar, which I reviewed, or the Alchemist EP. Another standout joint on here, as far as concepts go, is The Argument. And it's basically a song where Capone and Norega address the fact that, you know, they had their little ups and downs, and they choose to address it in the song via an argument.
Yeah, you my brother, but I hate when you smoke blend. I tell you to your face, I don't need to pretend.
And you my brother, and you know that I hate Phillies. And that bogey smoke, nigga, that shit kill me.
We both had hoes, now you got too many. We dirty now, why you still drink Henny?
Nigga, we raised on Henny, why you acting loose? You think you continental now cause you drink goose?
You spend too much time in the malls. Grown ass man still eating on hot dogs.
Yeah, I eat hot dogs.
Now, the downside to this album is the fact that, you know, because of the times we live in regards to hip-hop, you know, a lot of cats feel like they gotta make certain types of songs, you know what I'm saying, party records and certain types of beats just to fit in and get airplay, which I'm not mad at, and I think Capone and Norega does a decent job. For instance, the song Rotate featuring Busta Rhymes and Ron Browns. A lot of people are sick of Ron Browns, but you can't front on the kid when it comes to the beats. The beat is banana for this. Busta Rhymes comes through and does his thing, and so does Capone and Norega. So it's a perfect party record as an intro to those who maybe never bought the last 2 albums. So overall, I have to give Capone and Norega's album Channel 10, their third album, a B+. Alright, the next album I chose to review this week is an album that was recorded within 24 hours, or at least that's what they told us, 24 to 26 hours. It's Saigon and Statik Selektah's All in a Day's Work. Now, I was very excited about this album because of the fact that, you know, they recorded it in 24 hours, you know what I'm saying, and that's some real hip-hop shit. Just being in the studio, just writing rhymes and coming up with beats and ideas and pumping out 11 tracks. But that's kind of also the downside to this project. Like I said, the album is 11 tracks deep. No guest appearances, just straight up Saigon on each track. The beats for the most part are hit and miss. Some beats are hot, some beats are just okay. And Saigon's lyrics are on point, but there are times where, you know, there's no real concept to this song versus the next song. And you know, don't get me wrong, everything he's saying is on point, but as an album, it doesn't kind of mesh together. Understandably so when you're working on something for only 24 hours straight. But it starts off with a song called To Be Told. And, you know, the song is dope, you know what I'm saying, dope beats, dope rhymes, and so on and so forth with the album as a whole. Another standout song on here is called My Crew, where, you know, basically he's talking about what his crew will do, like any other rapper. And I think the album is hot for the simple fact that the type of MC Saigon is. See, you couldn't have done this with a couple of other artists, you know what I'm saying? You would have really got some bullshit. You might have would have got maybe one or two decent songs, but you know, the thing with Saigon is he's such a multi-layered MC where he can be on his MC lyrical thing, then he could be on his thug shit, then he could be on his introspective political stuff at the same time. So to me, that's what kind of carries this project. And for what it's worth, it's not his official album. It's just something to whet the appetite for Saigon fans and introduce himself to potential new fans of Saigon. So in closing, I just have to say that Saigon's and Statik Selektah's All in a Day's Work album is definitely a recommended album, a definite pickup if you want to check out Saigon's latest stuff. So I'd have to give this album a B. Next album I chose to review is a solo project by Havoc, that being Havoc of Mobb Deep. It's his second solo album, and I wasn't really too big on his first solo album. I thought that, like, lyrically it was really kind of flat, and of course beat wise it was nice, but just lyrically it was just a little bit flat, and then I couldn't really separate him from, you know, Mobb Deep or Without Having Prodigy. Fortunately for this release, it's a little better. Prodigy is only featured on one song, and it's a dope song, of course. Other guest appearances are Ricky Blaze, Cassidy, Big Noid, of course, and the album is alright. It's 14 tracks deep. Topics range from the usual, from politics to the usual gun clapping shit, which isn't too bad, and a couple of his attempts at party records, and I think that's usually him and Prodigy's downfall, where they try to do their version of a party record, and it doesn't usually work out because we like them so much as just thug style rappers that when they try to do the party thing, we like, yeah, but you know, you talk so tough most of the time. I really can't see you being in the party, you know what I'm saying, without trying to fuck somebody up. But the album starts off with a song called Can Get Touched, my bad, and it's a dope record. Havoc's rhymes are just top notch. Like I've said in the past to some people, I think he surpassed Prodigy in many ways, flow wise and lyrics wise. I mean, he's just on point, and I could tell with this album his energy was a little better than the last one. Beat wise, he is on point. I mean, the beats range from all types of, you know, like I said, from party records to hard records to, you know, almost Jay Dilla style records. And I think it's a definite, you know, a good look for anybody who's a Havoc or Mobb Deep fan. But like I said before, with it being 14 tracks, sometimes you're waiting for Prodigy to come in and give that balance. I have to say that this is an album I still recommend to people, but it's only if you're a Havoc or real deep Mobb Deep fan, and you got to have everything by them. So I'd have to give Havoc's second album, Hidden Files, a C+. Alright, so the last album I chose to review is by MF Doom. He's going under the name Doom on this one. It's entitled Born Like This, brand new 2009 release. First off, let me just say, I was never a big MF Doom fan. And he's a type of MC that has to grow on some people, and he's kind of grown on me. So I chose to review this album so I could give him a fair assessment. Now, with that being said, Born Like This is 17 tracks of straight up MF Doom. If you've never heard of MF Doom or have never heard his music, I can only describe him as an eclectic MC. And what I mean by that is, when you listen to his CDs, you'll hear beats and rhymes. Don't get it twisted. But you'll hear like commercials and movie clips and elephant noises and all types of different sounds coming together, and I mean it has rhythm. Like I said, don't get me wrong, it has rhythm to it, but at the same time, he'll also approach the tracks with that same kind of, you know what I'm saying, unorthodox flow, and it kind of makes for a good alternative listen to the usual flows in hip hop or the stuff you're just used to hearing. Guest appearances on here are from Raekwon to Ghostface to Curious, and even this chick that I've never heard of before called Empress Shara or whatever her name is. You know what I'm saying? Didn't mean to fuck your name up, but I don't know yet. But basically, to me, the album is dope. Dope for the simple fact that I think he is much better today than he was when he first came out. And what I mean by that is nothing has really changed about how he flows and approaches the tracks and concepts, but it's the fact that to me he just sounds more confident and cemented in what he does, you know what I'm saying, and the whole Doom moniker. And that has a lot to do with the fact that he's receiving a lot of good looks. A lot of artists that have mainstream attention are fucking with him. The track opens up with a supervillain intro, like usual, you know what I'm saying, just to set the tone for the album, being that he's MF Doom, as in Doom from, the Marvel comic books. And the first track that comes on is Gazillionaire Air, and the beat is dope.
Villain man never ran with crows in his hand and won't stop rocking till he clocked in a gazillion grand. Tilling the wasteland sands, raps on backs of treasure maps, stacks to the ceiling fan. He rests on his ashes, ask him after 10 miles in his galoshes, smashes stashes. Chip on his shoulder with a slip-on holster, a clip, a folder, and his grip on a boulder bolster. They supposed to know.
Standout tracks on here are, of course, Gazillionaire Air, Angels featuring Ghostface, aka Tony Starks, and I have to say that this album I definitely recommend to those who want to explore other sides of rap that don't involve, singing like some other dudes, but you have to have an experimental type of mind state in order to listen to his music. You know what I'm saying? You really have to be on your, I want to listen to some other shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'd have to definitely recommend Doom's latest release, Born Like This, for any fan or non-fan of hip-hop, and I'd give it a B+. That's going to do it for me for this week. Please know you can visit my MySpace page, which is myspace.com/VegasWorld. And please, remember, if not anything else, remember this. No matter what I say about a hip-hop song, track, or whatever, the choice is yours. 1.